Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Tyler here, back with another YouTube video. Now in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showing you guys the best settings on OBS to record any of your gameplay for YouTube or just whatever you want to do it for. So yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing you guys are going to want to do is hop over to the settings tab right here. For general, don't really mess with any of that. You don't need any of that. It's really all just preference on like what you want your stuff to look like for OBS. For stream, we're not doing a video on that. We're doing a video on recording, so I'm not going to really mess with that. For output, make sure your output mode is on advanced when you go over to output, because simple is not going to show you all this stuff that I have, and you guys are going to want to have it on advanced. So yeah, for the recording tab, I have the type as standard, the recording path as videos, so every time I record a video, it goes over to my videos. For recording format, I have it set as MP4, just because that's like the most compatible with editing softwares and all that. For audio track, I have it set as 1. If you have it set as 2, basically what that does is it just separates your desktop audio from your microphone audio. But I don't really need that, so I have it set as 1. For encoder, this is the most important part. I have it set on the NVIDIA NVEC H.264 new. Basically what this is it uses my GPU when I'm recording videos instead of my CPU. And it's NVIDIA since I have an NVIDIA graphics card. So if you guys have this option, I definitely do that, because if you use your CPU, it's definitely not going to be as smooth a gameplay. So yeah, I definitely have it set to that if you can. But if you have AMD, there might be an alternative to something similar to this encoder. But yeah, for rescale output, have it on 1920 by 1080 unless you are, experiencing some inconsistencies. Otherwise, if you are, just change it to 720p. But I have a pretty good PC, so I don't have to deal with that. For rate control, I figured out that the best rate control is CBR, constant bitrate. I mean, if it's not, you guys can mess with that and do it to your own preference, but have it on CBR. And my bitrate is at 80,000 kbs. The higher you go, the more smooth it's gonna look. I have a pretty good PC, so I can go pretty high. I'm at 80,000 here, as you guys can see. And if you guys are, experiencing any like FPS drops or any of that, you guys can always play around with this. Lower it down as much as you need if you need to do that. And for keyframe interval, I have that as 0. And for preset, I have it as quality. You can also change it to all these different things depending on how you think it feels. You can also go to low latency or whatever if you're experiencing latency. For profile, I have it as high. And look ahead unchecked, psycho visual tuning checked, GPU 0, and max keyframes 2. Then in my audio tab, I haven't really messed with any of this. You can if you want, but I'm not going to. And for replay buffer, I haven't really messed with any of that either. For the audio tab, I have that pretty much set as the default. I mean, I have it set at 48 up here, stereo, desktop audio, all default, and then I do record using my mic on OBS. Some people use other softwares to do that, but I just keep it plain and simple and record it on OBS. So I just have my microphone selected for the mic / auxiliary audio. And for video, I have that set as 1920 by 1080. Obviously, you can change that if you want. And for downscale filter, I have it set as bilinear because that works the best for me. And this is another important part for the value or whatever. You guys are going to want to change it to fractional, because I noticed I had it at 60 FPS before and it's giving me this really choppy gameplay. So you guys are going to want to change that to fractional FPS value and go 240 for the numerator and 1 for the denominator. That is what works best for me, and it comes out really smooth, really nice, and I like it. For hotkeys, I don't have much. I just have F6 start recording, F7 stop recording, and F8 for pause. You can have that as however you want. There's a bunch of different hotkeys you can make, but this is all the necessary stuff that I need. And for advanced, I just have process priority as normal, renderer DirectX 11, and color format NV12. All of this different stuff is preference, so it's not going to make your recording better. It's just however you want it. And yeah, so after you guys have done doing all your recordings and all that on OBS, you guys are going to want to obviously put it into your editing software. So I'm going to show you guys the best things that you guys can use to export your videos over to YouTube or whatever, and render them at the best looking quality and make your videos look pretty crisp. So first, I'm going to show you guys my sequence settings. Obviously, if you guys can't tell already, I'm using Premiere Pro to edit my videos and export them and all that. So for sequence, I just have Editing mode is custom, time based at 60 frames a second, frame size 1920 by 1080, square pixels, no fields, 60 FPS time code, and then for audio 4800 hertz, 1920 by 1080, and then make sure you guys have all this checked: maximum bit depth, maximum render quality, and composite and linear color. That's also going to help your videos look as crisp as possible. Hit OK, and then for my export settings over here, we're just going to go into here. It's going to originally just put me as the default one, so I'm going to import my YouTube settings and just hit OK. Yes. And for basic video settings, basically you guys are going to want to set that as 2560 by 1440. This is the best thing that I figured out. If you guys haven't seen my videos before, putting this as the 2560 by 1440 for the output is going to make your videos a lot better on YouTube. It uses this different YouTube encoder, which helps your videos look a lot better. It's this VPO9 one, which is a lot better than the one that it originally does, and you get this when you put in 2560 by 1440, or I think just anything higher than 1080p. So yeah, have it set to that. If you haven't seen my last video, or I think it was 2 videos ago maybe, I definitely check that out, basically explaining that more in detail. For frame rate, I have that set as 60, field order progressive, square pixels. Don't mess with the pixels, just keep them as square pixels. Render at maximum depth, have that checked. For encoding settings, I just have it as hardware encoding, and for profile I have high. For level I have 5.2, and then down here I have my bitrate encoding as CBR, and for target bitrate I have 80 megabits per second. Since I was recording in 80,000 as the bitrate, then I'm gonna have to match that in here and have it set to 80. Keyframe distance unchecked, and then all of this just like that. For audio, I don't think I really mess with that. And then also for this, just make sure you have it set as use maximum render quality. And yeah, that should be pretty much it for the rendering settings for your YouTube and video editing. And yeah guys, that is pretty much it for this tutorial on the best settings that you guys can use for your OBS to make your gaming videos look really good and crisp. And I forgot to mention this really quickly, it says previews disabled on my thing. So basically what that does is when you're disabling the preview, it's basically disabling like the little preview of what's on your screen. I disabled this because I noticed that it helped my latency a little bit, because I was getting a little bit of latency, and I just disabled this and it helped a lot. So basically you guys will see like your screen right around this area where it says it's disabled. I just clicked like a little bit off to the side and it should give you this option to disable preview, and that's what I did. And if you guys want to see what my recording looks like with these settings, I have a test video of Fortnite that I'm going to put up just to end off the video so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out.